All right, today we are diving into a pretty advanced M&A strategy that honestly, most people have never even heard of. It's the kind of secret weapon that top entrepreneurs use to build their fortunes, and we're going to break down the entire 6-step framework for you. And look, I am not exaggerating when I say this is valuable. This is the exact kind of high-level thinking that's usually locked away in those $40,000 mastermind groups, but today, you're getting the whole playbook. So, here's the big promise, the thing that sounds almost too good to be true. A clear, step-by-step plan for buying a profitable business, even if you have zero cash to put down. I know, it sounds impossible, but it's all done through this really brilliant technique we're about to unpack. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the strategy itself, then we'll get into finding that perfect deal, how to structure with no money down, how to quickly improve the business, and finally, how to engineer that big, profitable exit. Let's jump in.
First things first, let's just get our heads around the strategy itself. We're talking about mergers and acquisitions, but for small businesses. And you're about to see why. Especially in this economy, it's the perfect move for entrepreneurs to be making right now.
I love this analogy. Think of it like this. In a booming summer economy, it's great to play tennis, right? You're starting things, growing them from scratch. But when the economy cools down a bit, when things get a little chilly, you don't keep trying to play tennis in the snow. You go skiing. M&A is the ultimate entrepreneurial winter sport because when things slow down, buying is often way more powerful than building. And here it is, the entire game plan from start to finish. You find a deal, you convince the owner to finance that sale themselves, you step in and improve the business, and then, this is the beautiful part, you sell it to a new buyer and you become the bank, providing the seller finance. Let's get into the details of each step.
So, step 1, finding the perfect business to buy. The opportunity here is, well, it's absolutely massive, and it's hiding in plain sight within a very specific group of people.
Just get a load of these numbers for a second. In the UK, over 1 million businesses are owned by people getting close to retirement. In the US, it's almost 7 million. That is a huge wave of founders who are looking for a way out. They need an exit strategy, and you're going to be their perfect solution. Now, here's what you're looking for. And it's not a perfect business. No, you want a business that's been a bit neglected, but still has good bones. You know, revenue's sliding, profits are shrinking, the team's kind of running on fumes, and all their systems feel like they're from 1995. It's a business that is just crying out for some new energy. And who owns this company? We call them the bored baby boomer. 9 times out of 10, they're already financially secure. They don't need a massive check. What they really want is to just stop working, stop dealing with the headaches, and go hang out with their grandkids. They feel stuck, and you are about to become their knight in shining armor. Okay, this brings us to the absolute key, the part that makes everyone lean in, structuring the deal. How in the world do you actually buy $1 million company with zero cash up front?
And I know exactly what you're thinking, because it's the #1 question everyone asks. Why on earth would any sane business owner agree to this? Why wouldn't they just hold out for a big pile of cash?
Well, here's the reality from their side of the table. They feel trapped. Because the business is slowly going downhill, there aren't any all-cash offers knocking on their door. You're not competing with 5 other buyers. You're competing with their business just slowly dying. You come in with a professional plan that offers them this incredibly elegant exit, a check in the mail every single month with none of the work. And the tool that makes this all possible is called seller finance. It's actually a really simple idea. Instead of you having to go to a bank to get a huge loan, the seller is the bank. They lend you the money to buy their own business and you pay them back over time, using the profits from the very business you just bought from them. It's brilliant. So let's look at what a deal could actually look like. Let's say $1 million purchase price, 0 down. You agree on a 5% interest rate over 5 years. That puts your monthly payment to the seller at around 15 grand, a payment that the business itself can easily cover. That balloon payment at the end is just a larger final sum, which will typically cover by either refinancing or from the proceeds of when you eventually sell the business. Now, of course, and this is important, a deal like this needs serious due diligence and great lawyers to make sure everyone is protected. Okay, so you've done it. You've acquired the business. Now for the fun part, the turnaround. We're going to focus on 3 specific improvements that will rapidly inject life, energy, and most importantly, profit back into the company. Your plan is super straightforward. Number 1, you become the new face of the business. Number 2, you immediately shift focus to actually generating new business. And number 3, you digitize and modernize the whole operation.
First up, you become the key person of influence. Most of these old companies are totally faceless. By putting your personal brand out there, getting on podcasts, making videos, you bring this fresh, new energy that has a massive impact. It's the fastest way to signal to the world that there's a new sheriff in town. Second, you switch gears from playing defense to playing offense. These declining businesses are usually just servicing their old clients, basically just maintaining supply. You need to flip that. You start generating new demand, going to trade shows, creating content, actively hunting for new customers, just like the founder did back when the business was taking off.
And number 3, you digitize everything. You bring in modern tools that the old owner never bothered with. A real CRM, marketing automation, maybe even some AI. This does 2 things. It makes the business way more efficient, turning a 4-person accounts team into a 1-person job. And it starts to attract young, hungry talent who actually want to work with modern tech.
So, you've done the hard work. You've turned the business around. It's growing, it's profitable, it's exciting again. Now it's time for the final and most exciting step, engineering your exit and cashing in on all that value you created.
And this right here is the financial arbitrage at the very heart of this entire strategy. Check it out. You bought the business for $1 million, which means you have a payment going out every month of about $15,000. But after you've fixed it up, you sell it for $2 million. Using the same seller finance model, the new buyer is now making a monthly payment to you of about $25,000. You just sit in the middle and pocket the difference, a $10,000 a month passive profit.
The power of this is it's immense. This is what you'd call a David versus Goliath deal. A small entrepreneur, maybe running a $300,000 business, can use this exact strategy to go out and acquire a $3 million business. You can literally 10x the size of your world in a single transaction.
So, I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. As entrepreneurs, we're always told to start things, to build from scratch. But what if your next big move, your biggest phase of growth, isn't about starting something new at all? What if it's about finding something old and tired, something with incredible potential, and being the one to make it brilliant again?